Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Javed Musarrat, our guest speakers for today, Professor Sukant Chaudhury and Professor V.K. Mishra, Head Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Zeba Akil, faculty members, dear students, and everyone present here. I, Dr. Archana Pandey, Assistant Professor Sociology, feels it a matter of great privilege to extend a warm welcome to each one of you gathered here today on this very first webinar of sociology conducted by the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, Indian University, Lucknow. The theme of the webinar is Relevance of Caste Today in India. Today, we gather to address a topic that lies at the heart of Indian society, that is caste. Caste, a peculiar feature of our nation's social fabric, has shaped our history, culture, and identity for centuries. It's a system that categorizes individuals into rigid social groups based on birth, occupation, and ancestry. While it may have ancient origins, its impact continues to resonate in modern India, influencing every aspect of our lives. It is sad that caste perpetuates inequality and discrimination. It creates hierarchies where certain groups are privileged while others are marginalized and oppressed. So, the question is that does caste has any relevance today or not? And to find out the answers, we have today with us two very eminent speakers, Professor Sukant Chaudhury and Professor B.K. Mishra. Before welcoming our first expert, Professor Sukant Chaudhury, let me introduce him before you all. Professor Chaudhury has completed his graduation in anthropology from Bahrampur University of Odisha and post-graduation and PhD from Delhi University. Currently, Professor Chaudhury is working as Professor of Eminence at Department of Sociology, University of Lucknow, Lucknow. He was International Visiting Professor, Department of Diaspora and Transnational Studies, Rabindranath Tagore Institute, Mauritius in 2019. He was visiting fellow at the Department of Sociology, Manon Manian, Sundarnar University, Tirunelveli, Tamil Nadu, and also at the Center for the Study of Social System, JNU, New Delhi. He has visited many foreign countries like Canada, Austria, Japan, Hungary, Italy, Sweden, Norway, Greece, South Korea, China, Switzerland, USA, and so many for various academic pursuits. He has authored 9 books and 44 research papers, and more than 60 book reviews and other items. He has supervised 28 PhD theses. He has conducted 20 national webinars and workshops and 7 international conferences. He has conducted fieldwork in 20 villages of 5 states and slums of cities in India as well as Mauritius. Besides being editor of various national and international journals, he is General Secretary of Ethnographic and Folk Culture Society, Lucknow, Vice President of Indian Anthropological Association, Delhi, President of RC13 of International Sociological Association. Now, if I will not stop here, it will take one more session of webinar to introduce him correctly and properly. So we have time limitations. And so now I request Professor Chaudhury with the welcoming him to please kindly start the lecture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Archana. And good morning to all of you, all the dignitaries of Integral University, as well as my friend Vikram Mishra. It's a privilege that my student, Dr. Archana Pandey is conducting this, and obviously we cannot say no to that. We are very happy, very proud rather, that Archana is doing well at Integral University. So anyway, without any more introduction, this is only meant for. This is not a kind of research lecture. It is a research one only, but not with very serious issues, but with those issues which will be intelligible to the students. This is for the students mainly. So what we have done, we'll speak about my lectures is divided into 5 parts. How much time? 45 minutes? 1 hour? All right, 1 hour. So I start at 10:10, I'll complete at 11:10. All right? Or 11. Okay. So
11 is
This is
enough, sir.
given. क्या कह रहे हो?
11, sir, 11. We have two lectures.
11. All right. So this is divided into 5 parts. In the beginning, the first part will be Varna and caste. Okay. Second part will be what are the main features given by the researchers, not common sense. No common sense here. Sociology is not common sense. Sociology speaks reality out of the researches. Okay. Third part will be what are the changes that has happened in the past post-independent era, 77 years. All right. And the fourth part is the shameful incidents of, which is a fact, shameful, untouchability in India. Again, out of caste system. And the final part will be what is the relevance now. All right. So we begin from the first one. The first one that is Varna and caste. First of all, dear students, this is a this is not a dichotomy. It has a relationship. Okay. What is that? That Varna system, Varna Vyavastha, Chaturvarna, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, started by the Aryans, Rig Veda. When was it? It was in 15th century BC, means 3,500 years back. We say this civilization documented can be debated, but at least some constancy and consistency should be there in your mind. It may be there already. That this civilization is 3,500 years old. Documentation says 1500 BC. Before that, 1 lakh BC, 1 lakh BC, we started with lower Paleolithic era. Not much documentation. It is only carbon 14 dating from fossils and other excavations. Therefore, we are saying this civilization is 3,500 years old. Those who are writing, please write it down. You may like the lecture, but finally you may not remember anything. Students, please write something. Point number 1. This civilization is about 3,500 years ago, started by the Aryans with 4 Vedas. Rig Veda, you know. Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda. 4 Vedas. The 4 categories were mentioned in the Varna Vyavastha, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, with respective services, whatever their main function. Well, it continued for 500 years. Okay. Then came later Vedic era in 1000 BC, means 3000 years back. In the first 500 years, 2 important things happened. That women participated in public meetings called sabhas. This is important. Second is there was no untouchability. Very important, there was no untouchability. Sudra was a service community. Caste, don't use the word caste. It is only 4 varnas. Untouchability started in later Vedic era. Very shameful incidents. Untouchability continued for almost 3,000 years. Article 17 of Constitution was abolition of untouchability, implemented sometime after that in 1955 with Untouchability Abolition Act. Untouchability Abolition Act, which came in 1955. All right. So this untouchability in practice continued for 3,000 years. Okay. So in the this twin century, first century BC, first century AD. Okay, I started with 1500 years BC, then came to 1000 BC, then now coming to first century BC to first century AD. Gradually, because of diversification in occupations, caste system started. Actually, don't use the word caste. Use the word jati. Jati is broadly used. So gradually, according to occupational categories, various jatis came up. Okay. Therefore, now how many jatis are there? Means how many castes? If you say caste, how many castes are there? Not four. Those four are varnas. How many castes are there? More than 4,000. More than 4,000 castes are there found in India. Okay. Why there are 4,000? One great sociologist, Srinivas, said that, well, in every region, there are 200, about 200 occupational castes. But why there is 4,000 then? Why more than 4,000? Because the same occupation is known by different names in different languages. Okay? The same occupation is known by different names in different languages. For example, barber in Hindi is Nai, in Odia, barber is Bhandari. So there are two castes now listed in the list two. So in the barber caste may have mm, different languages, different names, maybe 40, 50, whatever. All right, barber. So similarly, the carpenter. Similarly, the blacksmith. Like this, it goes on and on. Okay. Now coming to difference between Varna and Jati, Varna and caste. Why this confusion came up? Casta word was introduced in 17th century by Portuguese. Portugal word, casta. Okay. So the Britishers came, after the Britishers came, they used the word casta as caste. So they continued with a four caste hierarchy. Then the sociologists said, well, it is not a four caste hierarchy. It is only in the ideas and it is found in the text. Found in the text. What is that? Srinivas only distinguished between Varna and Jati. Varna is now found in the text, textual model, and Jati is found in the context, practice, reality. All right. That means Varna is the book view of Indian society, book view, textual view, found in the text. Okay, and Jati is found in the context, reality. Okay, practice. First one. Second one, in Varna, there is a all India hierarchy. It is called pan-Indic hierarchy. Keep on writing. Pan-Indic hierarchy means everywhere there will be four Varnas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Okay? And Jati, everywhere not the same. I just told you, there may be 200 occupational castes. Different castes, different areas. Different castes are dominating in different areas. So there is no pan-Indic hierarchy in Jati. Number two. Number three, ritual criteria used in Varna. What is ritual criteria? The creator, Brahma, Brahmins are born, Mukh se jaat Brahmin. Brahmins are born from the mouth. Okay? Bahuon se jaat Kshatriya, from the shoulders, Kshatriya. Then Udar se jaat, from the trunk, Vaishya. पैरों से जात, from the feet, Sudra. So that is a ritual category. Ritual criteria is used. And what is Jati? In Jati, secular criteria is used. Secular. What is secular about it? That Jati today are found on the basis of economic dominance, political dominance. Okay. Not much ritual significance. Okay, not much ritual significance, and population, demographic. Okay, so some other caste can become a dominant caste, like Command Reddy in Andhra Pradesh, or in North India, Ahir, Jatav, Ajgar, Ahir, Jat, Gujjar, Rajput, Ajgar. So how they become important? If it is ritual criteria, it should have been only what? Only Brahmins. But no, it is not ritual criteria. Srinivas said it is secular criteria. All right. The next one is that untouchables were kept outside the Varna system. Why? Untouchables were kept outside the Varna system because they were not considered as human beings. Dumo has analyzed this. And here, untouchables in Jati, untouchables are an integral part of the system. If there will be no untouchable, there cannot be a social life. There cannot be a standard of living. There cannot be a day to day life. Untouchable services are very much used, even in marriage ceremonies, in everyday life. Their services are essential. So they are an integral part of the system. All right. Then another one that in Varna Vyavastha is immutable. Varna Vyavastha is immutable, means not changeable. But Jati is mutable, means changeable through various processes called Sanskritization, Westernization, modernization. Dominant caste, they are all processes. So Jati Vyavastha is mutable, possible. So this is what one has to. How many castes are there? More than 4,000. But how many Varnas are there? 4. Varna is not used today. If somebody is saying census operators, census administrators, they have not used it properly. That if whatever questions are asked, whatever answers are given by the respondent, who may not be knowing about it. So they are writing Vaisya. There is no caste, no jati called Vaisya. No listed jati called Vaisya. Where do you get this list? You get this list from Tehsil office, from every area. That how many jatis are OBC, how many jatis are SC, how many jatis are not OBC and not SC, means higher jati. How many? Roughly, Mandal Commission then had identified 2,500 something jatis as OBC. And there are 750, about 750 jatis as SC. So how many? 3,250. Plus it is expected another 1,000 castes, jatis as higher caste. So totaling about 4,300. Like this. Exact communities are not written. And Wikipedia or Google search engine will not give you the right answer. The right answer for the time being can be taken from Anthropological Survey of India project, People of India. Some 200 books are published. Kumar Suresh Singh was the Director General then, published a very phenomenal work. You can always find it out from there. There he wrote 4,065 communities are found in India. But well, jatis are more. Each jati is a community. Each tribe is a community. Then again, religion. Okay. So the conclusive point from here is Varna and Jati are different, but they are linked. All right. Uh, Next point here is what are the features of Jati? Features given by many sociologists, 3 are important. All are important, but these three we always quote, we teach to our students. Number one is G.S. Gurye, 1932. 1932 means unchangeable conditions, conservative conditions, traditional features of caste system. Okay, what are they? He spoke about 6 features. Out of these 6 features, which is important? First, he said castes are like segments in the society, segmental division of society. Second, he said hierarchy. Castes are divided into different units and having a hierarchy. ऊंच नीच का भेदभाव. Third is restriction on feeding and social intercourse. Yes, it is there. Restriction on feeding and social intercourse. Okay. Then fourth is lack of unrestricted choice of occupation. Fifth is restrictions on marriage. All right. And sixth is privileges of a few sections. Okay. Restrictions on for few and privileges of a few sections. This is what he said. Who? Guri. So Guri, that means restrictions on feeding and social intercourse and privileges of a few sections, endogamy, arranged marriages, no occupational choice, fixed occupation. Then coming to the first one, hierarchy and segmental division. Then comes Srinivas. This is Gurya was 1932. Srinivas is 1962. After 30 years, M.N. Srinivas. He had taken into account, analyzed some changing features. That was 1962. That is after independence. Okay, that was pre-independence. What all has happened? What all happened then? He started with hierarchy. Nine features. Hierarchy is the first one. Second one is endogamy and hypergamy. That means arranged marriages and marrying within one's own caste. Continue. Third is occupational association. This is very important. That those who were having some traditional occupation, some of them continue, like the barber, carpenter, blacksmith, goldsmith, Brahmins, some castes, whatever was the traditional occupation. Most of them joined modern occupation as well. What is that modern occupation? That though they joined modern occupation, low caste did high caste occupation, high caste did low caste occupation. How high caste are doing low caste occupation? A Brahmin working in a shoe shop, Bata, Woodland, a Brahmin starting a beauty parlor, maybe that was women Brahmin starting a or high caste Brahmin. Why Brahmin? Any high caste, Brahmin, caste, Thakur, any high caste. Starting a what? Parlor or starting a sanitation agency, for example. Okay. Big example is Bindeswar Pathak, Maithili Brahmin, started Sulabh Shauchalaya. And there was a report initially, Bindeswar Pathak was a great fellow, Padma Vibhushan, and or Padma Bhushan probably, and a sociologist from Patna. He passed away last year. Wonderful work. He had employed more than 5,000 Maithili Brahmins. So that's it. Or a low caste doing a job of a professor, doctor, engineer, IAS officer, mantri, all these things. You know? Reservations have been given. Panchayat Samiti chairman, Gram Panchayat chairman, member of parliament, member of assembly, legislative assembly, like this. So now it is open democratic adult franchise system, wonderful system. I always say past was good in that time and the present is the best time. Future will be more better. Think positive. Okay. And negative things always happen. Today values have gone high. People are unnecessarily saying values are getting deteriorated. No. Your values have deteriorated? My values have deteriorated? No. Today's best value is human right, animal right, wildlife right, plant right, women's right, SC right, ST right. These seven and many more rights never there in Indian society. Indian society has been, criticized, rejected like anything by most of the Western thinkers, calling them as, what is that? Calling them as despotic, barbaric, unjust, undeveloped. People called it like this: barbaric society, despotic society, undeveloped society, unjust society. But today we have all these rights. We are trying to definitely change ourselves. इसलिए ज़्यादा पास्ट वैल्यू से मत जाइए. करंट वैल्यू इंपॉर्टेंट, ह्यूमन राइट जरूर फॉलो करें. ह्यूमन राइट दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. And a ritualistic order has to be almost rejected. You may believe in that, but don't sow it. You may believe in that. You may be a practicing Muslim, practicing Hindu, practicing Christian, but don't sow. That is secularism. And this is what we see. At least in sociology, these are being taught and we have implemented in our life, these kind of things. All right. So the point is, why did I say this? That ritualistic order has to be gradually not given importance. Professional order, secular order, job profile, family profile. India is known for family. Okay, so Srinivas, created this, gave these features: occupational association, restriction on food, drink, and smoking continues where in the villages. Okay, he spoke another thing: pollution. Pollution is very important. Purity and pollution. Those who are doing polluted work, they are low caste. Those who are doing pure work are high caste. But there is a criticism. Those low caste who have left polluted jobs and are doing high caste jobs, what will happen to them? They are modernized. Another term is used that they are modernized. They have accepted the modern jobs, the service sector, teaching sector, medical sector, engineering sector, multi sector, business sector, chartered accountant sector, cost accountant sector, company account secretary. So many things, So they are all modernized. Then the next is rituals and other privileges and disabilities. That is there even now. Small things happen. You must have read in the newspaper. In Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, North India mainly it happens that a scheduled caste bridegroom riding a horse is heavily criticized, is heavily opposed by the high caste. Then there will be 12 Baratis. There was a news: 12 Baratis and 200 policemen watching. These kind of things happen once or twice. But that is very unfortunate that everybody has a right to have a horse ride during Bharat procession, bridegroom procession. But this all happens, uh, firing takes place and this and that. So this society is a integration, a combination of cooperation and conflict. Okay. Conflict would be there, but by and large, cooperation is strong. That's how society structure continues. What is caste then? The basis of Indian social structure is caste, particularly among the. The eighth one is caste organizations. Caste organizations have come up. Even today, they are very important. Politics is so important in caste. Whatever the netas may say, ye chunav vikas ke upar ho raha, all nonsense. It is all on caste and religion. All of you know about it. And we say very frantically, yes, it is based on caste and religion, except the like-minded intellectuals who are less than 5%. Like-minded intellectuals in urban areas, not in the rural areas. All based on caste and religion. So, what is caste organization? Akhil Bharatiya Brahmin Mahasangh, headquarter Gorakhpur. All India Caste Parivar, headquarter Allahabad. It started in 1900 AD, and there is a journal called Caste Parivar, monthly journal. You inquire. Wonderful. They are doing, they are only taking articles from castes only. There are 12 types of castes. Akhil Bharatiya Pasi Sangathan, Akhil Bharatiya Charmakar Sangathan, Jatav Mahasabha, all these Akhil Bharatiya type, all India type organizations. What are they doing? They are maintaining the identity of their caste, number one. Number two, they are trying to get a political mileage from every party. Number three, they are trying to get some development projects, ideas from the government, central government, state government. And the parties are relying on them because they are the vote banks. What is a vote bank? A vote bank is a bank where you get votes. Where is that? That you are a leader in your your village has dominance over 50 villages. So I'll catch you to get votes. This is called a vote bank. This idea was of Srinivas. Okay. So important. And the final point he said, the ninth point, that well, today there is a caste mobility. How through the process of Sanskritization, Westernization, dominant caste, modernization, and now globalization. Things are not fast changing, but things are changing better than yesterday. Things are changing. People are bothered about caste, definitely. What happened? Srinivas said sometime back in 1950s, that a process called Sanskritization started. What is Sanskritization? Any low caste or tribe trying to adapt to the lifestyle, rituals, customs of the high caste and trying to enter into that caste. It is called Sanskritization. But there are certain criteria. The caste which is trying to Sanskritize and becoming high caste should have control over traditional capital. What is traditional capital? Should not be a poor caste. Should have good standing, means good land and property in that area. Okay. And what is number two? The caste should have a touchable status. Matlab, it should not be an untouchable caste. Okay. And what is number three? To claim to the high caste status, caste must propagate a myth or a story that, well, we were belonging to the high caste, but something happened, so we became a low caste. Now we demand for a high caste category, like this. Several examples are given. The Jatavs of Agra tried in 1960s, but they could not succeed. The Jatavs of Agra are Charmkars. They tried this has been written by O.N.M. Lynch, American anthropologist. Whatever I am saying is not my view. What I have gathered from the well-done researches, I am telling you. Don't make it don't judge it. They are all written by sociologists. Everything is you can find in Google. O.N.M. Lynch, M.N. Srivas, Louis Dumont, G.S. Ghurye. Okay, these four people I have taken. F.G. Bailey. So Jatavs could not succeed because they were untouchables. So Jatavs started a political party called Jatav Young Men Association, and they fought elections, EP assembly election, won a seat also on the influence. 61-62 assembly election became a good vote bank, and along with Muslims, that area gave a slogan: Jatav Muslim Bhai Bhai, Hindu कौम कहाँ से आई? कौम means nation in Urdu. Jata Musliman Bhai Bhai, Hindu कौम कहाँ से आई? Once upon a time. So what you are seeing now, this caste and religion combination is not. Go to history. This is the history. So the point is, it is the basis of Indian society. It is the basis of Indian society. This is what Srinivas analyzed. Then came Westernization. What is Westernization? Adopting Western style of life. Language means English. Okay. Culture. Okay. How? The first person, Motilal Nehru. No, Raja Ram Mohan Rai. Dayanand Saraswati. 1862, 1865, 72, like this. They were the first generation. That is primary Westernization. Subsequent generation, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, all these people, they are the second one. Secondary. And today, what we are learning, tertiary Westernization. What is that? A dining table culture, a secularism. Who taught secularism? Who taught means who, under which influence we got secular? It is all British influence. Secularism started. These urban features, office features, this 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, educational system, engineering, medical, railways, postal services, universities. These all created after 1700. So all these have created secularism gradually, and finally we adapted to secularism in the constitution in 1976. It was adopted during emergency time by Gandhi. Two words are added to preamble: secular and sovereign. So what is our preamble? Remember this: triple SDR, sovereign, secular, socialist, democratic republic. Triple SDR, sovereign, secular, socialist, democratic republic. So wonderful. So all these things started. This is all because of Westernization. Okay. Then comes modernization. What is modernization? Modernization again started from Europe only and Western society. It starts with rational mindset, rational, goal-oriented rationality. So caste have taken it. What is goal-oriented rationality? Whatever action you are doing is directed towards attainment of a goal. किसी गोल को प्राप्त करने के लिए आप एक्शन करते हैं. जैसे कि आप अभी इंटीग्रल यूनिवर्सिटी में क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं? ऐसा तो कोई बोलेगा नहीं ना, ज्ञान ग्रहण करने के लिए. चुप, ज्ञान क्या ग्रहण करना है इसमें? हम इसलिए पढ़ रहे हैं ताकि पढ़ लिख कर कॉम्पिटेटिव दे और नौकरी मिल जाए. ज्ञान ग्रहण के लिए नहीं पढ़ रहे. पुराने जमाने में क्या था? व्हाट आर यू डूइंग? अब ब्रह्मचार्य आश्रम गुरुजी ज्ञान ग्रहण कर रहे हैं. दैट वाज ए वैल्यू, एंड टुडे इट इज ए गोल. Whatever you are doing is a goal. Whatever you are eating, for two things: to maintain your health and to maintain your metabolism. Those who are not doing this, they are digressions, deviant behavior. They are getting into many trouble, health problems. भाई जो दिन में रात को एक 10 बर्गर खाएगा मोटा तो हो ही जाएगा बचपन से. So वो उनकी बात नहीं हो रही. वो छोटे मोटे अमाउंट के लोग हैं. इन क्रिटिसिज्म मत जाइए. ये लोग जो आजकल बड़े लोग इधर उधर उठपटांग लोग जो दे डू नॉट फॉलो एनीथिंग एंड दे से दीस डे यूथ हैव गॉन मैड, दिस हैव गॉन बैड, दे आर ऑलवेज हैविंग पिज्जा बर्गर मैगी. तुम खाते हो क्या? मैं तो नहीं खाता हूँ. ये झूठ बोल रहे हैं. कम परसेंटेज ऑफ पॉपुलेशन, ज्यादा परसेंटेज ऑफ पॉपुलेशन, बेटर वैल्यूज. इंपॉर्टेंट. हमेशा पॉजिटिव सोचो, बेटर वैल्यूज. अच्छा, हम अगर कास्ट है, हम कास्टलेस कैसे हो जाएंगे? क्या हम सब अमेरिकन हो जाएंगे? क्लास वाले हो जाएंगे? वाई? इतना क्या अमेरिका को फॉलो करना है? एक ही तो अमेरिका है, वो कल्प्रिट है, पूरा वर्ल्ड को खा जा रहा है. अगर अमेरिका नहीं होता, इजराइल नहीं होते, इतना झगड़े होते हैं? आप बताइए. है बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मैटर. मैं थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाइड कर दिया. कास्ट वास्ट को जाने वाला नहीं. इसलिए नहीं जानने वाला कास्ट क्योंकि reservation. There is a reservation policy. So, what is a reservation policy? I'm coming to the third one. Okay, why there is a reservation policy? Because of untouchability. What is untouchability? A horrible thing. How many years untouchability remained? 3,000 years. So for 3,000 years, these 750 communities, constituting about 16% of the population, the crore low, 20 crore people today. Their ancestors, 3,000 years, left out. They were given leftover food. They were carrying human excreta on their heads. Human excreta. Can you think about it? Human excreta on their head. They were lifting dead animals. They were working with leather all the time. They were remaining in unhygienic condition. I get severe. What is this? And they were not allowed to go to school, temple, and not allowed to draw water from common water resources. How will they live? They were asked to live in the forest, in the outskirts of the village, not given anything. They are not allowed to worship high caste gods and goddesses. So they have to create their own gods and goddesses. There are many horrible tales about it. 3,000 years they suffered. Now you give the reservation for 3,000 years. Logical or not? If some high caste boy would say, "Oh, मैं क्या करूँ? तो रिजर्वेशन हो गया." क्या हाई कास्ट को मिला नहीं क्या? मुझे नहीं मिला. आई एम ए ब्राह्मण फ्रॉम उड़ीसा. मुझे नौकरी नहीं मिला. दो नौकरी मिला. इंफॉर्मेशन ब्रॉडकास्टिंग मिनिस्ट्री में क्लास 1 ऑफिसर थ्रू यूपीएससी in 1991. फिर यहाँ मिल गया. I wanted to teach, so I came here. Even today, don't you think? I think 1,080 people qualified civil services. How many high castes are there? 50%. Why don't you qualify in that? Don't talk about reservation. That has to be given because they were denied for 3,000 years. It's not a political decision. It's a good, wonderful, intellectual decision. Those who are saying political decision, they are trying to get some mileage out of that. This is what I say. Untouchability prevails even now. There is a strict act, Prevention of SC/ST Atrocities Act, 1989, which is a very strict act. That is fine. But how many cases are there? Sometime back in 96, 97, there was a statistics given that highest number of cases were found in South India, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka. Lowest number of cases were found in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. some people interpreted in a wrong way. Then in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, atrocities against SC was less. No, in South Indian states, the SCs were more aware. They were concerned about the rights. So the caste right was less. So they could go to the court, they could lodge FIRs. Here, people went for the FIRs, but the police will not lodge the FIR. And if people who go to lodge the FIR, they may be attacked by the high caste. This is all happening here. So there is a difference between the areas. So the caste, the act is good. People are now fighting for their own rights. Now think about now the untouchability. What is happening in the villages? This is those who are researched. They have like Michael, then Karant, then Sudha Pai, then so many people have researched on that. Incidentally, I have also done research on that. I have a book called Ambedkar and the Future of the Dalits. Okay, you can go through that. I have done 6 fieldwork in villages in Uttar Pradesh, 6 times in Khatima, Uttarakhand. Compared them. People are only 200 kilometers away from Delhi, somewhere in Ramnagar Killa, near Aula. Aula near Bareilly. Lifting of human excreta is found even today. That means scavenging castes are doing their job. The list says about 2 lakh people are scavengers even today. You are talking that we are a Viksit Desh. 2 lakh scavengers are there. Untouchability is there even now. Well, people are not calling it untouchable, saying it untouchable, but in practice they don't touch. In practice they don't touch. So this is happening. So forget about you know. Well, if it is structural, what is this? Is structure. This is the society. This is structure. This is polity. This is economy. This is religion. This is caste. This is class. Like this, they are all interrelated and interconnected and interdependent. Interconnected, interdependent. Change in one will affect change in other. Will lead to change in other. Now, there is no structural change. We are saying that our society has remained since long almost static. Dynamic means fast change, revolution, everything changed. Okay. What is good, what is bad, I am not interested in that. I am telling you the reality. So, caste is structural. So, we did not have any structural change. Some people changed through Sanskritization. What is that? That is only Sanskritization, only positional change. Okay, it is only positional change. Sanskritization is only positional change, not structural. What is that? One caste could change its own status, but the whole hierarchy remained the same in the area. So Sanskritization is not structural change. What have we done? We have only done change in structure, not change of structure. Change of structure is structural change. Whole caste system changed into class. What is that? Structural change. If caste system will change into class, then the religion will change. So much of blind faith on rituals and religion won't be there. That has not happened. I am not saying what is good, what is bad. No judgment. What researchers are saying that we are having a slow change. We are using only choices which will be suitable to us. What is the choice? That only only a small percentage of people are allowing intercaste marriage. Interreligious marriage is very difficult to allow. Okay? Intercaste marriage. Or intercaste marriage may be there, but the caste should not be very low. This is another point. There are many sayings. It can be only possible through field work. Well, what is happening to the present generation Z? Gen Z, generation Z, 1997 onwards born people, what is happening to them? They are not bothered about caste. Their parents are bothered about caste. The Gen Z is not interested. But what is happening because of some problem that they are getting victimized. Hmm. Relative deprivation theory is applied. That if something happens in the class, there is a ghettoization of low caste, ghettoization of OBCs, ghettoization of high caste. In some classrooms, not everywhere. This is happening. There is a ghettoization among the IAS officers. There is a ghettoization among the ministers. There is a ghettoization among the MLS. There's so many such kind of things also happen. This is a very complex issue, but we must understand it in a simplified manner. That the final point comes. What is the relevance today? We spoke about the origin, difference between Varna and caste, then features, then changes, processes, untouchability, reservation. Now, finally, coming to what is happening now. There are 5 points. Okay. Number one is caste and politics. Caste and politics. People are voting as a vote bank to a candidate of their own caste. They are not having any judgment on the candidate's qualification. You agree? You have to agree. What you will do after election, there will be analysis in Economic and Political Weekly. There will be analysis in Times of India. There will be analysis in Hindu. What I am saying, these three are important. There is a judgment, yes. A Hindustan Times. No Hindi paper, no English paper, no. Hindu is good. You try to see those who are giving a survey report, caste and politics. In sociology departments, there will be PhD thesis. People will be interested in understanding caste and politics during 24 election. Then you will realize people are voting for their own caste people, not bothered about their criminal background, not bothered about um, how a negative character or a positive character. No, not bothered about. People are giving it. All right. Caste and politics is very important. And another thing Rajani Kothari had said, caste and politics both are found in the social structure. How can you deal with them? When Varna was there, Varna and politics was there. The whole Brahminization of the society only led to anti-Brahmin war. And South India leads in that. In 1924, they had started formation of such parties, including DMK, David Mutra Kachagam. How did they come to this? Here we have found it in 1980s, Kansiram Mayavati, and 1967 Mulayam Singh Yadav. They all started these movements. Little later, 50 years after South India started. Before that, the Brahminical dominance was there during the Aryan period. Therefore, Buddhism and Jainism came into being. You know all this, okay? So, what is the point? Caste and politics, number one, present relevance. You cannot ignore. Don't cry, we want to remove caste and politics. You cannot. ये हवा में बात करने वाली बातें हैं. हवा में बात मत करें. Caste and politics is going on. नेताएं क्या करें doesn't matter. Let us not become, andha to what Neta says. Let us not become blind to what the leaders say. The leaders are not reading researched articles or researched papers. We must know the reality, right? Second significance, endogamy is preferred. Arranged marriages within one caste is preferred. Intercaste heavily opposed. Even what is it called? Honor killing takes place. You know about it. Very unfortunate, but it is reality. Arranged marriage takes place. Depending on the family conditions, how conservative they are. Those who are very conservative, they say that we are maintaining our tradition. No, they are wrong. But anyway, I don't want to fight on this issue. Arranged marriages are preferred, number two. Number three, Brahminical dominance is not found. Dominant castes in different areas are found. For example, here, Ajgar is dominant caste, North India. I told you already. Okay, Marathas is dominant in Maharashtra. Mudaliars are dominant in Tamil Nadu. Karans are dominant in Odisha. North India Ajgar, Ahir, Jat, Rajput, Gujjar. Okay, Ajgar, Gujjar Rajput. So different areas and where Patidars in Gujarat, Patidars. All right. So different castes are dominant in different areas. So Brahminical dominance is not found. Okay. So one is arranged marriage, second is caste and politics, third is Brahminical dominance is going away, dominant castes are coming up, which is a researched event sometime back in 1960s. I told you, Srinivas. It is continuing even now. And for this caste war, the caste war goes on and on. Whenever the lower caste, the scheduled caste particularly, are coming up, there is a caste war. People are killed. Jehanabad, riots are found. Okay, caste based. Caste wars are found. Caste feud, FEUD. Okay, so what we are trying to finalize, casteless society is an impossible task. We are not going to be America. We have maintained our identity. It is called a process of acculturation. Acculturation means when two or more cultures meet, interact, they learn something from each other, but maintain their own identity. How westernized I may be, how westernized Ravi Shankar, Sitarwala, may be, how westernized anyone who is settled in America. There is a diaspora culture. They love to have pickles, अचार. तो अचार को कांटे से चम्मच से थोड़ी ना खाएगा. अचार को यूं करे तब मजा आएगा. और ये इंडियन स्टाइल है. एक छोटी सी बात बताया मैंने. कुर्ता पायजामा पहनता है, ठीक है, और बुआ पुकारता है. आंटी नहीं पुकारता, अभी बुआ पुकारता है. बुआ, ओके. और मैं तो उड़ीसा से हूँ. जगन्नाथ की पूजा करता है. जगन्नाथ मंदिर है, राधा स्वामी मंदिर है, राधा कृष्ण मंदिर. मैं कैसे जानता हूँ? मैं गया हूँ 3 बार यूएसए. मेरा सगा भाई सेटल्ड है यूएसए में. पूरा इंडियन कल्चर है. इतना ज़्यादा डायस्पोरा भी नहीं है. 3 जनरेशन 4 जनरेशन पूरे वाले ये है. इवन दे रिमेंबर द कास्ट. दे मे नॉट बी फाइटिंग ऑन कास्ट. So this is all happening throughout the world. So casteless society is a very impossible task. Casteless society is a very impossible task, and you should not think about that. And you should not be bothered about. You are, suppose you are all young people. You are all, as I said, that mostly 1997 born or after that Gen Z. The generation Z should not be much bothered about caste. But well, for a coherent society, coherent family, we stand for family. Even today, if I go to America or England or Japan, they will ask, what is India? Family life. That will सुकून देगा. लेकिन फैमिली लाइफ में जो बड़े हैं उनको भी सिखाने की जरूरत है. व्हाट इज रैशनल एटीट्यूड. बट दिस इज रैशनल. एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एक सेमिनार, एक वर्कशॉप, एक टॉक बिटवीन फैमिली मेंबर्स होना चाहिए. अकेलापन दूर हो जाएगा. ज़्यादा ये अमेरिकन लोगों की तरह डिप्रेशन मत लाओ. ज़्यादा कास्टलेस करूँगा, रिजर्वेशन फंसो नहीं इसमें. अपना पढ़ाई लिखाई करो और जैसे चल रहा है उसको हल्का फुल्का चेंज करने की कोशिश करो. गोल ओरिएंटेड रैशनैलिटी लाओ. And all the best. I have kept to my promise. It is exactly 11 o'clock. Dr. Archana Pandey. Yeah. If there is any question, I can answer.
Thank you, sir. You took us back to our college days. The way you delivered the lecture, it was amazing. And now, sir, 2-3 students wants to ask you some questions, if you permit.
Yes, please.
If you permit, sir.
2-3 questions because the other speaker will come.
Yes, sir, he's trying to join.
Yeah.
I would also like to call Dr. Faizan. Dr. Faizan, please kindly have the questions from the students.
Not audible. Faizan, not audible.
Faizan, you are mute.
Mute. Again muted. Faizan muted. Now, all right, start. No. Use another device. Or speak loudly. Let's see.
वॉइस नहीं आ रही फैजान आपकी. Even Professor Bikram Keshi is trying to join, but there's some technical error, I think.
You have kept some screenshots, Archana?
Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir.
All right. You send it to me.
Okay, sir.
Not now. L- Let the questions. No, no. Here I have taken the screenshot. This is no meaning. If there are some YouTube screenshot, that will be better.
Okay, so that will be sent to you, sir. Okay, Fazan? Fazan, your voice is not coming.
Javed Akhtar, you can start. Unmute yourself. Unmute.
Okay. Okay, Fazan, you keep on trying, Javed. Till then, you have question from the students.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you
Uh,
are audible.
good. Good morning, sir. Uh, Sir, a question coming from the students. First question is, according to you, doing politics on the basis of caste and religion are fruitful for the common public?
No, I didn't say. This is the problem of the students. They are
Okay.
half listeners. They listen half of it. I said what is happening now, not fruitful. This is not fruitful, but this is happening.
Yeah.
There is a difference between happening and fruitfulness.
Yes.
Okay, could you follow?
Okay. Oh, yes.
You explain it to your students. I said this is
Okay. Okay.
happening, not according to you, not according to you.
Okay.
According to I
Okay.
said this emphatically. According to the researchers found, caste and politics, the marriage between caste and politics is found in India.
Sir,
What
एक
are very important? Yes,
yeah, yeah. One question from ऋषि कुमार यादव. uh, जो रिजर्वेशन कास्ट के बेसिस पे है स्पेशली एजुकेशन में क्या वो पढ़ना चाहिए?
बिल्कुल होना चाहिए। मैंने ये बोल चुका हूँ दोबारा बेकार में क्वेश्चन पूछा
जी
उसने।
जी 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 जी
बेकार में क्वेश्चन पूछा। मैंने कहा ना हाफ
जी
लिसनर होते हैं स्टूडेंट्स।
ये
स्टूडेंट्स गेट
ये
दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ आई मीन जो आजकल कह रहे हैं ना डिटोरेट कर गया दिस इज डिटोरेट। अरे बाबा मैं तो बोल चुका हूँ नहीं पॉसिबल है। 3000 years they have been troubled. Why are you asking me to repeat it again? Not possible.
यस
It's not a political decision. It is an intellectual decision.
यस यस.
Uh,
Similar question related with reservation from Zahida
और
Hussain.
आप और जो पूछ रहा है
uh,
रिजर्वेशन आप पढ़ो ना बाबा।
जी
अच्छा
जी
पढ़ो
जी.
अर्चना पांडे को बोलो अच्छा से पढ़ाई। नहीं पढ़ रहे हो तो कोचिंग करो
Yes.
जाके। मैं क्या करूँ? सरोगेट इंस्टीट्यूशंस
Yes.
को ज्वाइन करो। यू कांट हेल्प इट। यू कम टू मी आई टीच यू।
Yeah.
हिटिंग हिटिंग और बता कि हमें आईएएस में इसको क्रैक कैसे करें। मैं 600 वर्ड का 600 वर्ड का आजकल नहीं आता 250 वर्ड का आता है। मैं हिस्टोरिकल मेटेरियलिज्म 250 वर्ड में कैसे लिखूं। मैं लिख के दिखाऊं मैडम को और मैडम उनको 10 में से 3 नंबर देना 4 बार फिर 6 नंबर देना। तरीका ये है लर्न हाउ टू से नो। जब नो नहीं सीखोगे कुछ नहीं होगा लाइफ में। मैं सेकंड क्लास हूँ हमारे बैच में कोई टॉपर नहीं था। आपने सुना होगा दिल्ली स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी।
Yes. Yes.
बस सफिशिएंट बोल दिया मैंने। हमारे बैच में कोई टॉपर नहीं था। हमारे ऊपर वाला बैच में कोई नहीं टॉपर थे लेकिन 56% 56% में टॉपर। अब तो 96% मिल रहा है। आता कुछ
Yeah.
नहीं है तो मैं क्या करूँ इसमें। अभी भी तो
Yes.
अच्छे लोग आ रहे हैं ना। अरे अभी भी अच्छे लोग आ रहे हैं ना। आपका क्लास में 5 लोग तो अच्छे होंगे।
जी
वो
जी सर.
बोलता है रिजर्वेशन हुआ कि नहीं हुआ। क्यों नहीं देगा रिजर्वेशन। पढ़ो ना बाबा। राइट डायरेक्शन राइट बुक्स पढ़ो। 8 घंटा निकालो डेली। मम्मी पिप करके सोशल मीडिया में फंसे रहोगे तो होगा क्या। कुछ नहीं होगा। जेनजी का ये प्रॉब्लम है। हाँ बताइए नेक्स्ट।
Next
मैं ये
related
मेरे
question.
मेरे एक मिनट मेरे टोन में मत जाइए। मेरा
जी जी.
इरादा सही है। टोन टेम्परामेंट ऐसे ही है लाइक ए टीचर।
Yes.
इट्स लाइक ए टीचर एम्फेटिकली सेइंग नो कंफ्यूजन। Please don't go by my tone and temperament. I mean, my intentions are good to teach you people, not you teachers. Yeah, teachers also. Why not? Tell me next question.
Uh, Sir, again, Rishi Kumar Yadav. ask the question related with what do you think about the caste census?
Caste census is a political decision. Caste census is a political decision. Those who are pressing for that, there may be two things. They wish to know what is the regional variation, number one, and what is the discrimination towards a particular caste. This is one intention, which is a good intention. But the second intention is to, from the caste census, they would gain momentum in the election process to get votes. I told you about vote bank. That's it. So now, Vikram Babu, Vikram Babu, नमस्कार. अच्छा अनम्यूट करो अनम्यूट विक्रम जी अनम्यूट करिए.
Sir, your voice is.
ना maybe network issue.
Let me
Actually,
join
glitches are
again.
there, sir.
हाँ आ गया.
Now fine, sir.
Again,
Fine.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome, sir.
नहीं हो रहा है. उनको कहीं नेटवर्क इशू है उनका. आप
I'm joining.
आप रीजॉइन करें. हाँ जावेद जी और कोई क्वेश्चन?
No, sir. No, sir.
चलिए बढ़िया लगा. जावेद डॉक्टर जावेद अख्तरी जी असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And Vandana ji assistant professor.
Sir, this is all our team, sir. All are here.
Your department.
Yes, sir.
Good. Great. So the students are from sociology or humanities, liberal arts.
So humanities.
You call it humanities, isn't it?
Sir, humanities and sciences. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, now I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation and being with us on such a short notice. I think it was around half a day that you joined us and you gave your consent for this webinar. And I think the way you had us in analyzing the theme of this webinar, no one else can do it so powerfully and so emphatically. You told us that caste is still influencing and maintaining the relevance in today's time. So I thank you, sir, for being with us. And now it's time to welcome our second expert, Professor Bikram Keshri Mishra.
Namaskar, sir.
Uh,
Am I audible?
Sir, you are audible. And sir, we welcome you here on behalf of Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, Integral University, Lucknow. And to tell you all, or to tell you all that Professor Mishra is a professor and head at the Department of Sociology, Ravenshaw University, Cuttack. Uh, so now to know him briefly, I would like to call Dr. One of the department to introduce him.
I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. I, Dr. Vanna Mishra, Assistant Professor Sociology. Respected Professor Bikram Keshri Mishra, Sir, Head Department of Sociology, Ravenshaw University, Cuttack, Odisha. It is our privilege to welcome Professor Bikram Keshri Mishra, Sir, a renowned sociologist and a scholar, to our esteemed institution. Professor Mishra's impressive academic credential and extensive research experience in the field of sociology make him an invaluable resource for our students and faculty alike. Professor Dr. Bikram Keshri Mishra has completed MA, MPhil, Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Sociology from the Center for the Study of Social System and School of Social Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. His research focuses on the field of sociology of work and gender. He has published around 100 research papers in prestigious sociology journals. He has more than 20-year teaching experience. His areas of expertise in sociology include sociological thought, gender studies, sociology of development, education, religion, and Dalit studies. In academic guidance, under his supervision, 7 PhDs and 22 MPhil degrees have been awarded. He has organized 14 conferences, including 11 national and 3 international. As a distinguished expert in sociology, Professor Mishra's insight and perspectives will undoubtedly enrich our understanding of the complex of caste dynamics that shape Indian society. We are grateful for his willingness to share his knowledge and expertise with us. We are look forward to fruitful and engaging interactions. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
With this note, I would like to welcome Professor Vikram Mishra. So please.
Sir, your voice is not coming.
So kindly unmute yourself.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Completely audible.
Esteemed organizers of the webinar, esteemed resource
Sir, so
in the
you are.
field of social. Am I
I
audible?
think there's error, so audible. I think there is a bit of network problem.
Is it audible now?
So is it? It is completely audible, but sir, your camera is off.
It is audible now.
Your camera, the completely audible, sir. Your camera is
Acha,
off,
then
right, sir?
if I am camera is off, then it is becoming audible.
Okay, sir.
If camera is, if I am talking my camera, then I am becoming audible.
So you were initially audible also, but a bit of network error was there. Just that was the problem.
It is audible.
So it is audible, sir.
Then let the camera remain off so that it is becoming audible clearly.
Okay, sir.
Esteemed organizers of the webinar, respected resource person, Professor Sukant Kumar Chaudhury, my professional colleague and elder in the discipline of sociology. It was my sheer fortune to work with him in Lucknow University for 2 years in 2008-19. I am profusely thankful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to have an interaction, have a kind of communication in the sociological fraternity on an issue, pertinent issue on which sociology has been discussing, it has been debating since the time of its inception in India. For almost a century, India has been talking caste. World sociology has been talking caste. In a sense, it is said that sociology is a Western import. But as one
Sir,
looks at
1 minute. Sir, can I disturb you? Sir, please try once more with your camera, sir. So it's YouTube live. We would like to see you also. One more try, sir.
is it audible?
Yes, sir. Completely fine, sir.
It's fine. But yes, it is said sociology is a Western import. But as we look at Indian sociology, one never finds much substance to make such a statement that it is a Western import. The moment one goes through the discourse of Indian sociology, one goes through the discourse of Indology, one goes through the discourse of caste, the discourse of Panchayati Raj, the discourse of judgment system, one gets a clear understanding that yes, when one talks about Indian sociology, it is not a Western import. Rather, it has invited scholars from across the globe to do research in India. In fact, had caste not existed in India, many sociologists in India, many sociologists across globe would not have got the occasion, would not have got the opportunity to draw reputation, to establish themselves as sociologists of repute in Indian society, in Western society. Many Western scholars have come to India, have studied India, and while studying India, they have talked about caste, they have talked about judgment system, and they have become famous in their own merit, in their own right. Then coming to caste, before delving deeper into caste, the present situation, my focus will be little different. I was sharing with Archana madam. My focus will be to point out some of the methodological blunders we have been making, methodological dimensions we often take casually while talking about caste. Yes, before talking about a methodological dimension, let me. The moment one talks about caste, the man who reminds us continually, rather, any discussion of caste remains incomplete without reference to that man, that is G.S. Ghure. Any understanding of caste is incomplete without reference to him. Ghure defines caste in terms of 6 features that we all have been reading. From graduation onwards, we have been reading segmental division of society, hierarchy, lack of unrestricted choice of occupation, civil and religious disabilities. 6 features he gives, and restriction of food and commercial intercourse. And there are scholars, foreigners, Louis Dumas, Bugle, who define caste in their own way. It is not Ghure who defined caste in line with pollution and purity. It is Dumas who defines caste in line with pollution and purity. He defines caste in line with 3 features, Dumas. Hierarchy, separation, and division of labor. And that debate, pollution and purity. Bugle defines caste in terms of 3 features, hierarchy, separation, and division of labor. Dumas borrows the 3 ideas from Bugle and adds 1 more property, that is pollution and purity. I'm not delving deeper into the notions of hierarchy, pollution and purity, separation, division of labor while talking about caste. These are ideas which we all know, and it is an informed audience. There is no point in explaining the features of caste. But then any point to take, any point we wish to deliberate on, it is ideal to begin with the basics, and we began with Bugle, Louis Dumas, and G.S. Ghure, and the list goes on. There are scholars. There is no dearth of scholars. Rather, if there is any topic in Indian sociology that has been researched, over-researched, and that is being researched, is caste. No amount. No amount of research will say that the research has been complete, or no amount of research would suffice the intellectual thirst of the sociologists in the domain of caste research. Then coming to the other dimensions, my focus is not the understanding of caste. My focus is to point out some of the methodological dimensions, the way caste is being approached by social scientists in India, the way caste is being demystified by Indian sociologists. My focus is not the comprehensive characterization of caste. My focus is about a critical observation. It may be partial, it may be limited, it may be faulty, but it is my observation as a social observer with regard to the way caste is being approached, the way caste is being observed, the way caste is being decoded by Indian social scientists. To begin with, the way caste is being discussed for the last 1 century, sociology, it is said, it was started in India in 1819 in Bombay University, and now we are in 2024. A century has passed. For the last century, sociology, caste is being discussed, the manner in which it is being discussed by sociologists, by social scientists. It appears that there is a tendency among scholars to treat caste as a homogeneous category. This is the first methodological blunder one observes in the entire discourse of caste. The way caste is discussed, be it upper caste, be it scheduled caste, be it scheduled tribe, be it OBC, the way caste is being discussed, I mean, one doesn't find any difference in approach, difference in understanding. For instance, the dominant concept of dominant caste, it remains the same. The concept, I mean, it appears as if caste is a unitary category, caste is a homogeneous category. It is treated as a monolithic category. It appears as if the problems of all scheduled castes are same, problems of all scheduled tribes are same, hence they must be treated uniformly. All scheduled castes are same, and hence they must be handled uniformly, they must be treated uniformly. The way is, for instance, scheduled tribe, we know it is a world of diversities. And we all talk about that one needs to go for a culture specific approach, community specific approach, but when it comes to caste, when it comes to the welfareistic approach of a welfare state, the entire scheduled tribe, all the scheduled tribes are treated uniformly. As a sociologist, it must be kept in mind that scheduled caste is not a homogeneous category. Scheduled castes are a heterogeneous category. Diverse communities, they differ. The problems of all scheduled castes are not same. Similarly, the way Western feminism talks about the entire idea of feminism, the entire thrust of feminism the way course it's schematized, one gets the impression that women are a homogeneous category. Women constitute one category. Problems of all women are same. It appears as if pregnancy for a woman in Ambani family and pregnancy for a rickshaw wife is same. The experience of childbirth, the experience of mothering for Tata, a woman in Tata family, Ambani family, is same as the experience of childbirth in a truck driver's family. The point I'm trying to make is that the heterogeneous character of communities, heterogeneous character of a community and communities must be pointed out in minute terms, in exact, accurate terms, for a genuine, authentic, reality-based understanding of the people on which the research is being carried out. And another point is the way caste. We all know centuries have passed. It is said there is caste operation for centuries, for millennium, for 1,000 years, 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years, and the same discourse is being perpetuated, same discourse is being forwarded, the same discourse is being handed down from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. The point I'm trying to make is the way things are discussed, it appears as if progress is unthinkable. It appears as if progress is impossible in the marginalized sections, in the backward sections. It appears as if progress, it is antithetical to progress. The way things are discussed, exaggerated, eulogized, it appears as if nothing good is happening in this area. Nothing different, nothing better, nothing emancipatory, nothing progressive is taking place in this area. This is again another methodological blunder one talks about while talking about the experience, the anxieties, the aspirations, the agonies, the oppressions, the exploitations of a community. One must also be sensitive about the things that are changing, the alterations that are taking place, the progress that is being experienced by people. History must be accompanied with the present. The tradition must be accompanied. Discussion on tradition must accompany discussion on continuity, discussions on progress, discussions on modernity, discussions on post-modernity. Uh, otherwise, what happens? It becomes a mere advancement of monotonous, outdated discussions on the issues, be it caste, be it religion, be it language, be it communalism, be it, say for instance, secularism. History is important. The past is important, and it must be. One must begin with one's national memory, one's historic memory, one's civilizational memory. But at the same time, one must also know how to take. We must also know. Indian sociologists, social scientists should also know how to take the discussion forward, how to take the debate forward, how to understand a caste, how to understand caste, the way it exists, the way it operates. It appears as if, see, I'm reminded of the idea of Herbert Spencer, who first talked about evolution. Then it is Darwin who talked about evolution. What I'm trying to say is, it appears as if, see, in evolution we have been taught that it's a process, it's a movement from lower order to higher order. In case of evolution, the movement is always from simple stage to complex stage, from low stage to higher stage. But when one talks about the discourse of caste, the way the life experiences, aspirations, agonies, exploitations, oppression of the scheduled caste community or the scheduled tribe community, the way things are being discussed, it appears no change has taken place. It appears as one goes to the discourse on scheduled caste, on scheduled tribe, it appears as if it is anti-evolutionary. It appears as if it is a reversal of the evolutionary principles of Herbert Spencer, evolutionary principles of Darwin. The point I'm trying to make is, we are told that in society, everything is evolutionary in nature. Hence, caste or tribe or community is no exception. Things are changing, and advancement is taking place. Progress is taking place. If progress is while talking about the life world, advancement of communities, advancement of individuals, advancement of cultures, one must take note of all the dimensions. I am reminded of Auguste Comte. He talks about social statics and social dynamics. Social statics and social dynamics. While talking about the discourse of caste, the way social scientists tend to situate caste, tend to portray caste, it appears as if it is always in a state of Kantian social statics. It is not dynamic at all. It exists the way it existed earlier. The point I'm trying to make is, be it the policymakers, be it the social scientists, see, many times social scientists help a lot indirectly in policy formulation. Many times policymakers draw heavily on the insights, the findings provided by the researchers, social scientists, which help them in sharpening the policies. It appears as if caste is a static category. It appears, see, one must talk about while doing policies see, India being a welfareistic state, that is as a part of its constitutional obligations, as a part of its social obligations, it is duty bound to work for upliftment of the downtrodden, work for emancipation of the downtrodden. See, what is constitution? For instance, constitution is one that has got tremendous liberating potential for the masses, that has got tremendous emancipatory potential for the downtrodden. But then, if the question is emancipation of the downtrodden, if the question is liberation of the downtrodden, then about whom we are talking about? Who is the community one is talking about? Are we talking about the downtrodden? It appears, is it that all the people in the scheduled caste community, all the people in coming under the fold of scheduled caste category are equally downtrodden? Is the degree of it are equally marginalized? Is the degree of marginalization same? See, it is wrong to see one of the biggest methodological blunder that is often committed by social scientists is by treating everyone in the scheduled caste community as equally downtrodden. Sufficient research must take place. Sufficient academic work must come forward. Sufficient researches must take place in pointing out the issues of the real, concrete, authentic, grounded issues of marginalization in ground realities. Sufficient researches must take place in pointing out the exact, accurate degrees of being downtrodden, being deprived in actual ground realities in the scheduled caste category. Otherwise, it appears the way things are discussed, the way things are written, the way things are researched, it appears that everyone in the scheduled caste community shares same degree of deprivation. Everyone in the scheduled caste community shares same degree of advancement. I am reminded of T.K. Omen. T.K. Omen, who says, see, I find some kind of difference in writing in T.K. Omen, who says that the ultimate purpose of all policies, welfareistic policies in a welfare state like India, is upliftment of the downtrodden, emancipation of the downtrodden. Hence, if the goal is emancipation, if the goal is liberation, then the strategy must be to ensure that the benefits of liberation reach the deserving one, the needy one, not the one who is already emancipated, not the one who is already liberated. He talks about that if like in other communities, it is possible to find people who in the process of modernization, who in the process of industrialization, urbanization, have come forward, have attained a greater degree of mobility in economic terms, in cultural terms, in educational terms, in political terms, and in social terms. For instance, he's saying that not every upper caste one is equally privileged, equally emancipated. Not every OBC person is equally liberated, equally emancipated, equally privileged. Similarly, not every individual in the Dalit community is equally privileged, equally liberated. There are people who are already liberated. He's saying, the Thickeman says the policies of the welfareistic policies of a welfareistic state like India has succeeded in, has been making efforts, has succeeded to some extent, and has been making efforts to become successful to fulfill the ultimate target. In the process, he's saying that the Dalit community is not a homogeneous community. speaking in the Marxian sense, he is saying it is possible to look at Dalit community from the point of view of Karl Marx. This is also a community that can be seen in two groups, in terms of two groups: the Dalit elites, Harijan elites, or Dalit bourgeois on the one hand, and the downtrodden Dalits on the other. Hence, he's saying that the policies of reservation, for instance, the welfareistic policies must reach the persons who are still downtrodden, who have not yet succeeded in rescuing themselves from the clutches of deprivation, from the clutches of marginalization. He's saying what happens in the process, many times the benefits, the constitutional benefits, the benefits of a welfare state are appropriated, or benefits get absorbed at the creamier community among the Dalits. As a result, what happens? The benefits do not reach the persons who are still in need, in bare need, in dire need of such benefits in order to rise above in the ladder of emancipation. He's saying that the Picoman says that now the challenge lies in recognizing the people who are still not emancipated, who are still in dire need of a support hand, a state sponsor for their emancipation. Let me give a small example. In my hometown, when I am in school, there is a cobbler in the street in my local town who was repairing shoes. Then in my university days, I saw the man has become old and his son is sitting there to do repair of shoes. And now when I visit my hometown, I see that his grandson is sitting there as the cobbler. The point I'm trying to say, that he was a cobbler, then his son is a cobbler, and then his grandson is a cobbler. Then in what way the benefits of reservation have helped that cobbler family in rising above in the ladder of emancipation. The policies, the welfareistic policies of a welfare state must very minutely, painstakingly identify such who are the people who are in such dire need of state patronage for emancipation. So that is one of the methodological challenges that everyone, be it the social scientists, the policymakers, must ponder, must contemplate seriously in order to ensure that the package reaches the needy, the package reaches the deprived, the package reaches the person who is actually marginalized. See, what rather at times we see in India, deprivation is a serious issue. Marginalization is a serious issue, and that must be seriously addressed and adequately addressed. But while remaining sensitive to such issues, in India, what you find, see, in other countries, for instance, when there is a competition to remain advanced, to stand advanced, in India, what we find sometimes. There are sometimes one notices a peculiar kind of movement for backward tag, movement for scheduled type tag, movement for scheduled caste tag, movement for backwardness, movement for getting recognition of backward tag. The point I'm trying to say is, if there is backwardness, if it is a serious issue of backwardness, if it is a serious issue of deprivation, it must be dealt adequately. It must be dealt with all kind of seriousness at all levels. But unfortunately, what happens many times, things are dealt with some amount of political expediency, and what happens in the process? The benefits, in the process, the deprived one remains deprived. The cobbler's son is remaining a cobbler. Cobbler's grandson is remaining a cobbler. The point I'm trying to make is, while while talking about issues of deprivation, such issues should now be seen from individual point of view, not from community point of view. Centuries have passed, and in the process, I feel, I observe, changes have taken place in all walks of life, in all domains of life, and changes have taken place in all communities, starting from in all caste communities, from upper caste to the Dalits. And now it is methodologically inappropriate to treat each community as an atomistic unit. It will be methodologically inappropriate as a homogeneous unit. Why? Because as Tikumen would argue that in every community, there will be elites, there will be criminal population, and there will be real deprived population. The challenge before Indian sociology, the challenge before Indian social science establishment, the challenge before Indian establishment, the challenge before Indian policymakers is to identify, is to go for a different kind of identification, a different kind of classification in population, community wise. The people, who are the people who have emancipated, who are the people who have liberated, who are liberated, who are the people who are coming under the elite category, who are the OBC elites, who are the upper caste elites, who are the Dalit elites, who are the backward, who are still backward, who are still deprived, who are still marginalized. And then only it will be possible for the state to evolve individual specific category specific treatment for emancipation, for liberation. The problem is Tikumen is arguing. He says, why is such politicization taking place? Why there is not go for such individual specific, family specific, category specific identification is because of the trend of academic communalism. What is academic communalism? Tikumen argues. Academic communalism is a tendency in which individuals, researchers, social scientists, sociologists continue to do obsessively tend to do research on topics in line with their ascription. Academic communalism is a trend in which social scientists or sociologists tend to line and then emerge as the spokespersons of their communities. This is called academic communalism. I am a woman and I will do research only on women. I am an OBC, I will do research on OBCs. I am a Dalit, I will do research on Dalit. I am from Puri, I will do research in Puri. I am from Patna, I will do research in Patna. I am from Lucknow, I will do research in Lucknow. I am a Muslim, I will do research on Muslims. I am a Christian, I will do research on Christian. I am a Hindu, I will do research on Hindu. The point this is Tikumen says, this is called, see, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong in a woman doing research on women. It's absolutely fine. But to claim that a woman can understand another woman's problem better is again problematic. To claim that a Dalit can understand another Dalit's problem better is again problematic. To claim that a Brahmin can understand another Brahmin better is again problematic. See, I'm reminded of Alfred Schutz. Alfred Schutz, who in his phenomenological approach says, we are living not in a subjective world, we are living in an intersubjective world where your subjectivity and my subjectivity are intersubjective. So for instance, I am a mother. The experience of motherhood is not a subjective experience. It is again an intersubjective experience. The experience of motherhood is inseparable from the presence of child in a family. Say for a teacher, the experience of a teacher is incomplete. It is meaningless without its relatedness to students in classroom. If there are no students in class, the meaning of teacher is redundant. Similarly, the experience of being student is again meaningless if there is no teacher. Hence, a teacher's identity presupposes. See, this is a classroom, is a situation, for instance, where both the teacher and students mutually presuppose each other. They mutually include each other. It's an intersubjective world where a teacher's subjectivity and a student's subjectivity are both intersubjective. Hence, speaking in that phenomenological perspective, it would be wrong, 1,000 times wrong, to stay with that obsessive thinking that a person can best understand his own community rather than other communities. You see, many of the classical sociological studies are done by people who are not related to the field. Example, you see Andre Bete, where he studied. My esteemed senior Prof. Sukant Chaudhury can throw light on it better. You see, most of the classical studies, village studies that have been done by India, many of the scholars, Indians and foreigners, they have taken villages that doesn't belong to their hometown. They have taken villages that doesn't belong to even their state. They have taken villages that even do not belong to their country, and they have done wonderful study. You see F.G. Belly, for instance, F.G. Belly, Caste, Class and Nation, Caste and its Economic Frontiers, which what he studied in Odisha, for instance. These are classics, and that these classics still remind us the amount and volume of insights they still illuminate our sociological imagination. The point I'm trying to make is, it is time one must rise above academic communalism. One must rise above academic parochialism. One must rise above political expediency. One must rise above selective opportunism. One must come forward. One must rescue oneself from one's parochial communitarian sentiments. One must try to imagine real issues of deprivation, real issues of oppression, real issues of exploitation, and identify the individuals, the families, and separate. So the point I'm trying, and let me conclude very quickly. The research on caste is wonderful terrain in Indian sociology. There is no topic, as I began, in Indian society which is more researched than caste. And again, this is it appears at times there's a tendency among scholars to become very cynical of the issue of caste. It appears as if when even among non-sociology communities, if you go to them, I'm from sociology, the cheap notion they have in mind that sociology means marriage, family, caste. Sociology means, there is nothing else worth reading in sociology. So for them, to a non-sociologist, to a person in political science or economics or zoology or botany, many people think that sociology is caste, sociology is family, sociology is marriage. Let me tell you, sociology is not as simple as caste. It is not as simple as marriage. It is not as simple as family. Caste is a very, very beautiful topic. The point is, one must be very clear about one's objective. One must be very clear of one's mission. What is one's mission? What one's mission is all about. If the mission is emancipation of the masses, as Marx once said, if the mission is emancipation of all, as Pareto says. See what happens. See, Marx says in revolution, what it results in dictatorship of the proletariat. Marx says in case of revolution, what happens? It results in dictatorship of the proletariat. But Pareto differed. Pareto said, what happens in the tussle between elites, in the tussle between the lions and the foxes, in the tussle between two competing groups for political power or economic power, what happens? One group stands defeated, but the defeat of one group doesn't result in emancipation of the masses. The defeat of one group doesn't result in emancipation of the masses. The defeat in case of revolution revolution doesn't necessarily result in emancipation of the masses. It results in two things. One, it results in defeat of the previous force, and second, it results in emergence of another minority that sheds crocodile tears on behalf of the majority. Hence, one minority is replaced by another minority. One minority of individuals is replaced by another minority of individuals. And see, Pareto's thesis is quite indicative. And this is where I conclude by saying that the target is not to talk about, the target is not that minority of elites, minority of bourgeois, minority of the criminal population. The target is the majority of the deprived ones, majority of the marginalized ones who are in dire need of the welfareistic package of Indian state. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As you said, we will always try to get away from the practice of academic communalism and also let all students to be away from that. And with your consent, sir, I would like to have some questions from our students. And for that, I would like to call Dr. Faizan to have questions from the students.
Thank you very much, sir, for an insightful, educative, and explanatory lecture. Sir, there are 2 or 3 questions regarding caste. One question is coming from sociology student Zaida Hussain. What role does education play in challenging caste-based inequalities?
I think there is some problem, sir. Not here. He's disconnected. Just wait.
And
Hello,
audible?
sir. Yes,
Am I
yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. Audible. Sir, the question is that what role education play in challenging caste-based inequalities?
Repeat, sir.
What role does education play in challenging caste-based inequalities in India?
Uh, Education is an emancipatory force. It has got tremendous emancipatory potential. It is not education that perpetuates inequality. It is our mindset that perpetuates inequality. Education is same in a classroom. The content is same. There are 50 students in a class. Some people recognize the emancipatory potential of the content. They move on, and others could not. So education perpetuates inequality to the extent that uh, our ideology, our sentiments, our mindset are witnesses prevent us from recognizing the truth, and at times uh, our our mind harbors falsehood, prejudices from recognizing truth. So it is not education; it is our evil influences that helps us, uh, that keeps us perpetually ignorant. I am reminded of Karl Popper. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, I am reminded of Popper. Popper is an excellent in conjectures and reputation, the logic of scientific inquiry, where Karl Popper says he answers this question. He says, what makes us remain ignorant? It is not. He says the sources of truth are there. But some individuals fail to see the truth. And why do they fail to see the truth? They fail to see truth because of prevailing prejudices in the mind, because of the existing every influence, because of presence of falsehood in the mind. Things lies in the learner or to the restless Jew to learn. There is no inequality. What happens? Education is what it does. Education hierarchizes people on the basis of the score. That is why Ivan Illich talks about discipline society. And so far, the state has not yet succeeded in an alternative to that practice.
Thank you, sir. The second question is coming from my side. How caste politics is affecting community diversity in the current scenario of Indian society?
Sir, I think Fazan, you should again repeat the question. Sir is not able to hear that.
Yes. How caste politics, sir, how caste politics is affecting community in diversity in the current scenario of Indian society?
Yes. I'm reminded of M.L. Srinivas,
Yes.
who says the problem is in a society where caste is politics glorified, in a society where caste is politics glorified, there exists little difference between caste and professional political parties. Now there's a competition on horizontal lines among caste groups after politics. The answer is given by Goran Lenski, where he says, the question is not classification. Question is not the issue is not untouchability. The issue is no more who is being deprived, who is an upper caste, who is lower caste. Now the issue is in the democratic political setup, in the base for power, base for property, who gets how much and how. Who gets how much. Now the competition is to capture political power. In the process, caste as an issue in the traditional sense of the term. Such issue from the point of view of retribution, marginalization, oppression, and exploitation are dead. It's dead. It is now reframed. It is now being made. It is now there are attempts now to keep it alive, particularly alive, to get political melee, to get political violence, to get political power. Now elections are, tickets are, fights are being conducted in line with caste. It is only proving, it is only resulting in weakening of Indian democracy. It is resulting in weakening the welfaristic spirit of the Indian state. It is not strengthening there any question?
Thank you, sir. I think you were so clear that the students have asked only 2, 3 questions, and thank you, sir, for explaining the methodological considerations and methodological blunders regarding caste that you uh, have told us in such an analytical way and in a deep manner. We are grateful to you for being with us on such a short notice. And now this time it's time to propose a vote of thanks. So I would like to call Dr. Javed to propose vote of thanks.
I'm audible.
Yes, you're
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yes, what an enlightening session given by Professor S.K. Chaudhury and Professor Vikram K. Mishra. Good afternoon, one and all present over here. Myself, Dr. Javed Akhtar, Assistant Professor, Sociology, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. I am here to give vote of thanks on behalf of Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Chancellor of Integral University, Sayyid Wasim Akhtar sir, for providing us with this opportunity and for his continuous encouragement and support. Next, I would like to express my gratitude to the Pro-Chancellor of Integral University, Sayyid Nadeem Akhtar sir. As a young and dynamic leader, he continuously encourages us to organize and participate in these valuable and informative sessions. I would also like to thank Chancellor Integral University, Professor Javed Musarraf sir, who is always a pillar of strength to us. I also wish to express my gratitude to Professor Jeva Akil ma'am, head of the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, for her continuous guidance, support, and encouragement throughout the entire process. I would like to express my sincere thanks to our esteemed speakers, Professor S.K. Chaudhury and Professor Vikram K. Mishra, their valuable insights on today's theme, relevance of caste today in India. Sir, this discussion has significantly enhanced our knowledge and understanding of the subject, and the students have greatly benefited from it. Before we conclude, let us extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the faculty members of the Sociology Department, including Dr. Archana Pandey, Dr. Vandana Mishra, and Dr. Faizan Haq for making this webinar possible. We also thank the students and participants who joined this webinar. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
With this vote of thanks, I declare the webinar to an end, and let's hope we will meet again good topic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. लेट कर दियो भाई.